Hello, good morning, happy Wednesday, aka happy hump day. Welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 941 and we are here live in Southwest Florida at the beach today. If you are joining me live, please say hello. Let me know if you're crafting, let me know if you have questions for me, or just say hi to me or anyone else in our lovely, warm, and inviting community here. Wait a few minutes before beginning until people pop over from pre-chat and notifications. Hi Edna, good morning. Good morning Grace and Joe, good morning. Hi Donna. Hi Lily. Hi Eve. Hi Marcia. Welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 941. I'm Kristin Omdahl and we're here live in Southwest Florida at the beach today. Hi Lisa and Lori, Judy, Barbara, good morning. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday or happy hump day, whichever you prefer. Hi Vera, aloha. Hi Steffi, good morning. All right, well, we are back at the beach, which I know I'm happy to be back here. Hopefully you are too. Hi, Kathy and Marcia and Christine and Colleen. Yes, the beach is very beautiful today, and I'll turn the camera around so you can see all of it. The colors are just gorgeous, aren't they? I love the darker blue in the water. So this is my view of the mangroves and the cypress trees that separate the beach from the parking lot. There's the beach to the north of us. Very clear today. You can definitely see all the way to Fort Myers, and you can see I can see part of Sanibel Island from here. Do not see Captiva, but I do see part of Sanibel, which is cool. And then there's the water, that beautiful darker blue today. And here's the beach to the south of us. Pretty quiet here. Oh my goodness, it's snowing in New York. That's exciting and chilly, Lily. Hopefully you are dressed appropriately for it. Yes, it is very beautiful here today. It's been a little chilly for us. Does not mean it's chilly to other people, but it's been chilly to me. That's why I'm wearing a turtleneck and the Elsa hoodie and black dress pants today. But I also wanted to try to do some fun videos for social media when we're done with the show. And I wanted to go over some patterns that may or may not have video tutorials for them just yet. But I also wanted to talk about the fact that I don't believe that tutorial videos, how am I going to say this? I always say that my tutorial videos are supplemental to the patterns. And so some people really enjoy using them to help them read the pattern, help them understand the charts and that sort of thing. But then there are people that follow the videos just to see the stitches that I'm going to use in the patterns, and that's totally fine too. I have not listed the sample sale yet, Doris. When I do, I will be sending out an email. If you are on my mailing list, you will be first to know when the sample sale goes live, and when it does go live, it will be on my website. That is true. So back to what I was saying, as far as the videos go, you know, on a pattern like this, the Elsa crochet tunic, the stitches are so incredibly simple. It's mostly just double crochet in here. And so what I think is even more important than showing you how to do the double crochet to do this vest, which is fine in itself, and that type of a tutorial video is fine too, and I'm not saying that I'm going to stop doing them or anything like that, but what I do think is even more important, if you've already got the pattern, is to maybe get a feel for the construction of the piece. And so I brought a couple of fall projects that we haven't talked about recently. Only brought 3 with me. But anyway, I brought these 3 to talk. One of them I probably didn't need to bring, but 2 of them I did. Because I wanted to talk about construction so that if you have the pattern or are interested in the pattern now, even though there aren't tutorial videos for them yet, the stitches are so simple that I'm pretty sure that you could do it without a tutorial video showing you how to do these simple stitches. But if you understand the construction, it'll help you understand the pattern better. So to start with, I'm going to show you the Elsa crochet tunic with a hood. And even as simple as this design is, you can still wear it a variety of ways. So I'm going to take the belt off first. So the tunic, you can make the tunic with or without the hood. You could make it with or without the belt, and you can wear it with or without the belt. So unbelted, as you can see, it has side vents. So over a solid color underlayer, very attractive as just a tunic like that. Those side vents really, I think, make a tunic so figure flattering. And what's nice about a giant hood like this is that the hood is super cozy, almost like a cowl, just when you wear it down. See how big the hood sits? And so the hood comes up a little bit in the front. So wearing it down is also a look. I think it looks really beautiful down, and it's really cozy down, even when you're not wearing it up, which is also extremely cute and cozy. So you can see in the back here, it does not have that exaggerated point in the back, and that's because we did some shaping. So when I take this off, I'm going to point out all of the construction of this, and it'll give you a very good grasp of the pattern so that you can make this without needing a supplemental video tutorial. Like I said, not that I'm not going to do it, but if you want to make it right now before I do, I'm going to show you enough today that you could totally make it just following the pattern. You could have made it just following the pattern anyway. This pattern is a top-down construction, so absolutely it would be easy to adjust the length. Absolutely. And I'll explain that when I take it off and show you more of the construction. But I wanted to show you the hood. I think this is a very flattering hood on. And then I'll show you with the belt again. So if you wanted this to be a little more fitted, you make the belt. You can tie the belt and just leave it like that. But I think it's also pretty to blouse it up once you belt it as well. And it hikes up the length a little bit more. Super cute, right? And then when I take this off, I do want to mention my underlayer as well. I'm wearing the dress pants / leggings that I bought to take to Indiana when I went to film season 12 of Knit and Crochet Now. They're stretchy like leggings, but they're the Ponte stretch, which is the more heavy-duty stretch, which is why they look like dress pants too. And they have very nice pockets in the front and in the back. And you can find those in my Amazon shop. I bought the ankle length intentionally because I wanted to wear them with these ballet flats that I also bought to wear at that show. And I brought all of this down to do another video for social media after we're done with the podcast this morning. So in order to feature my shoes and their details, I like to wear ankle length pants when I'm doing that. Like if I was going to wear high heels or high heels with straps, or any others, or booties, or anything else where you want to see the whole shoe, I like wearing ankle length pants. If I'm going to hide my shoes or wear taller knee boots, then it doesn't matter the length of my pants. But a slim fitted ankle pant is also great for tucking into bigger boots as well. So I wanted to point out that these pants come in multiple lengths and styles at the bottom, but this style I thought was the most universal for featuring your shoes and for ease of tucking into zip-up boots as well. Okay, so let's go back to the construction of the Elsa hoodie. And this piece is in Be So Easy yarn, which is my number 5 bulky weight yarn. It is sized, so I can't tell you how many balls it is. The number of balls is determined by which size you make, but if you follow the link to the pattern, which I know Judy has shared a link to already, and it will be updated in the show notes, and you can search very easily for this pattern on my website as well. It is a top-down construction. We start at the center, we start at the back, shoulders, and work down to the bottom. Then we pick up at those shoulder seams, work each of the fronts a little bit and then join them together, and then work all the way down the front, work side vents like we did on the Talia top and dress, which is a super easy way to construct the sides. Very easy. And then we pick up, and then around the neck hole opening, we pick up to work the hood. The hood is worked back and forth in rows until you get the desired height. And then to create the shaping, it is in the center of the rows of the hood that we do some concentrated decreases and then sew up the top seam of the hood. So when you're making a hood, you have options. Can you see how that shaping gave me some shaping here? If I hadn't done those decreases here at the center of the hood, see, this is the opening. So as you're working around the neck hole, that's the beginning and end of your rows, and this would be the center of your rows. By doing those decreases at the center of the row, and this theory or this formula that I'm sharing with you, you can do on any hood you make anywhere. This is theory, this is construction style. You can apply this to any hood. So if I hadn't done this shaping, which angles, so I'm doing decreases in the middle of the row, which gives us this soft shaping. If I hadn't done that, these rows would have come up evenly, and it would have come to a sharp point there, which if you like a sharp pointed hood, fine. There's no wrong way to be creative if you enjoy your results, right? So if you like a pointed hood, skip the decreases. If you like a different pattern that has a pointed hood and you don't like a pointed hood, use this technique to do some shaping. Whether you like a shaped hood or a pointed hood, doesn't matter. If you like a hood, make a hood. It's all right. And whichever style you like. And maybe you like both styles. Sometimes I like both styles. Sometimes I'm more interested in, or maybe the stitch pattern you're using or the motifs you're using make shaping it impossible. Then rock the point. Who cares? You know, just do what makes you happy, or do what seems like the best result, that'll give you the best results that you're looking for. But if you want, so that's where the shaping is done. It's done by doing some decreases. You know how to do decreases, double crochet 2 together or 5 together, whatever it ends up being. But that's where you put them in the center of the row, and the pattern explains all of this in notes in between the written instructions. So that's the Elsa hoodie. This is color lavender in Be So Easy yarn. The next one I wanted to mention is the Savannah Vest, which technically is a Ruana as well. It is simply 3 rectangles. The back is cast on at the lower edge and works straight to the top, and then the fronts are worked from the lower edge and work straight up, and then right about when you get to the yoke portion here, we do a concentrated set of decreases to give us this little ruffled gathering there, and that's what gives us the shaping to have an A shape, so that the lower hem of this vest is wider at the bottom than it is at the shoulders because of this super simple decrease on both sides of the front at the yoke. So this is worked in a super simple knit and purl stitch pattern, which is completely explained in the pattern, and then 1 set of decreases here and here, then 3 needle bind off at the shoulders, and then you choose how much you want to sew up the side seams. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like unsewn right now. I put a stitch marker at each side there, just under the shoulders, to leave it open, and I kind of like this look, but it would also be really pretty if you sewed it all the way down. Because we added extra shaping in the bottom, it has an A-line shape to it, so you wouldn't lose that swing volume or that ease by sewing it all the way to the end. However, you could also sew from your underarm down to about 6 inches from the bottom and get those side vents as well. But I wanted to show you also that not only is all of that extra ease at the lower body really flattering on, but it also allows this vest to stay on if you don't button it. However, you could button it, you could butterfly clip it, you could add a shawl pin here, you could add a button and a buttonhole, or you can belt it. I showed it in the photos with a store-bought elastic stretchy belt, but you could knit or crochet a belt to go with it as well. And I'm just using the belt from the Elsa to demonstrate. And in a high contrast color, I think it helps you to see it, although I would make it in the same color if I was doing this vest, if I was making it with the vest. But the shaping is really, really flattering on, and the shaping is created from a very, very simple construction. And you can see those little gathers, puckers, pleats, whatever you want to call them. They're right here at the top of the yoke, which gives you more volume and more ease through the bust and through the hips, which some of us really like that. And if you don't like that, don't put it in, right? You could leave it open, you could leave it the full-size larger piece instead if you wanted. But it's very simple to do, and it creates very sophisticated shaping without adding a whole lot of technique. Does anybody have any questions about this? This is called the Savannah Knit Vest. Did I turn around and show you the front and back? I can't remember. So I'll show you the front and back. You could also fold in front of itself. You could wrap it a little bit as well. Because of that extra ease, you have the ability to wrap the fronts because they're bigger than you need them to be at the lower edge. And then I'll take this off and show you open. And again, you can see that even not secured in the front, this is not going anywhere. You could wear this open without securing it and it will stay in place as well. Really pretty, right? Isn't it beautiful? Thank you, Karen. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. And again, are there tutorial videos for these yet? No, but the stitches are so incredibly simple on these two pieces that I thought you would really enjoy seeing a demonstration of the construction style so that you can go ahead and start with the pattern without waiting for the videos, because you don't need the videos for these patterns. They're that simple. They are really simple construction, very simple stitches, and so timely. They're perfect for fall, so you could start them right now. This is Be So Easy yarn in color Putty, and this is Be So Easy yarn in color Lavender. You could, these are also pieces that have very simple texture in the stitches, so they would be good candidates for variegated yarn. We talk about that sometimes different patterns are better suited for variegated yarns and some are not, and I'll give you an example of what to look for. So when a stitch pattern has a very simple pattern repeat and a very simple texture like this, it will actually really beautifully showcase a variegated yarn. And same with this, it's a very simple stitch pattern with a very simple texture. Now I'll give you an example where I think a solid color is better suiting, and that's when you have a larger pattern repeat and a more detailed stitch pattern. This is where you may lose one or the other in variegated yarn, and that's the point. You're not going to make something ugly, but what you're going to do is either in one of these types of stitch patterns, you're going to see both the variegated yarn and the texture. In this one, you will either lose the variegated yarn or lose the texture. Does that make sense? So on something like this, I would say that you would probably lose the texture and would see more of the variegated. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not. It might be exactly what you're looking for. However, if it's not, and you wanted to, you have to decide, would you be more excited about seeing a variegated yarn pattern, or would you be more excited about seeing the stitch pattern on a piece like this? And depending on how you answer that, you may or may not want to choose a solid color or a variegated color. Whereas on the other two, it doesn't matter at all. You'd see both. Does that make sense? And I'll try this one on so you can see how gorgeous it is. This is the Morengo Crochet Hearty wrap, also in Be So Easy yarn. And this one we have the pattern and the charts and the tutorial videos already done, so you can find all of that available now. And if you have trouble finding videos here on my YouTube channel, more often than not, the videos are embedded into the pattern pages, their respective pattern pages. So, for example, if you go to the Morengo crochet pattern page on my website, you will see the embedded videos for it. More often than not, once I'm human, sometimes I forget, sometimes I make mistakes, obviously, but I really try hard to keep the videos embedded. They're on YouTube, but I make sure that they're seen on the pattern pages as well, so that it's more convenient for you that way. So as long as you know where the pattern is, you can usually find the videos as well. Edna, if you missed links yesterday, you can find them in the show notes. Every day Judy updates the video description after the show is over with links to everything that I talked about if they're available. So if you missed any links yesterday, all you have to do is go to yesterday's episode. That would be episode 940 of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Look at the video description, and all the links for everything I talked about yesterday will be there in the show notes. And that goes for every day. So if you think about something after the fact, you go, oh, I wonder what that was called, I wonder what that link is, you can always find them in the show notes after the show is over. You're welcome. It's a great question that can be answered for everybody, because if you have the question, more than likely other people do as well. All right. I bet it is getting mighty cold in Canada, Penny. Yes, Canada is much further north than South Florida. Does anybody have any other questions? It is a gorgeous day with lots of bright and medium blues. It's so pretty. Probably worth taking another look around the whole beach. It's kind of quiet here today too. Mostly quiet. Does anybody have any questions? And for those of you that watched yesterday that are excited about the sample sale, no, I did not list everything yet. I will try to get it listed hopefully in the next week. My goal is to have the sample sale, at least this mini sample sale that we pulled yesterday, possibly more things, I haven't decided. My goal is to have the sample sale put together and ready by next week. In the meantime, the fantastic fall sale is still going on. You can get 30% off of Be So Fine, Be So Sporty, and all of the fine and sporty blings by using FALL30 coupon code. You can get 30% off of any of those. Eve, I explained the stitch multiple in the pattern and in the video tutorial, so you just have to go to the pattern page and it'll tell you what the pattern repeat is. I don't know that information off the top of my head, but it is very simple to see on the pattern, and with the charts and the multiple written there, I'm sure you can figure it out. It's a top-down construction, so you'll need to adjust the number of starting stitches for the width and the number of rows for the finished length. Great question. And explaining the construction style is also very helpful. So knowing that the Simone poncho starts at the shoulder here and is worked straight down. Yes, the number of foundation ovals you start to make the first piece is going to definitely be altered if you're altering it to make a smaller size. So you'll just want to look at the pattern and adjust the width based on the number of foundation ovals you start with, and then you'll want to adjust the length by the number of rows you work. So that should all be fairly simple to figure out. And it depends on what yarn you're using, what your gauge is, but you can use the finished measurements as your starting point for sure. And then if you're making, and also if you're making something for a child, measure a piece in their wardrobe that is approximately the same size that you're trying to make, and that will give you a very good idea of how much smaller you need to make it. That goes for anybody wanting to modify anything. anytime you're unsure of even if you're unsure of what size to make for yourself in any given pattern that's already sized and may include your size in it, measure your own clothes. Figure out what size works best for you. I mean, we can do measurements on the show at one point, but what your actual measurements are is not nearly as important as the size of your clothes that fit you the way you want them to fit. What your actual size measurements are determine your size without ease. You may like to wear things snug. You may like to wear things oversized or baggy, or just slightly oversized or slightly undersized or true to size. And that information is more important than your actual bust and waist and hip measurements. It's more important to know what size of clothing you prefer. So I highly recommend measuring any item in your closet that is a similar silhouette, similar style to what you want to make. Measure your clothing to know what size makes you feel comfortable. Very, very important. And so that's helpful when choosing for other people. And you know, let's say you want to make something for someone, like for example, the woman that said she wants to make something for a child. Let's say the child doesn't live close to you and you can't measure their clothes. You could also go to the store and measure clothes at the store in the size that you're intending to make. So let's say you want to make something for a 6-year-old. You want to make a poncho for a 6-year-old who lives in another state and you have no idea what that means. So you go to a big box store, Target, Walmart, Marshalls, whatever, and go look at ponchos in that size range, measure them, and then you'll have a much better idea of what you're looking to, what size you're actually looking to make. And when you're trying to resize something that's not three-dimensional, it is so much easier. So when you're trying to resize a poncho is two-dimensional, like a blanket, right? So there's no shaping, like to shape a three-dimensional yoke to wrap around a body. A poncho, resizing a poncho is just as easy as resizing an Afghan. It's based on your gauge times the number of repeats you need for your length and your width. So it actually is one of the easiest ways to modify a pattern. Does anybody have any other questions about that? I'm more than happy to keep talking about this for the time we have left, because I know it's something that a lot of people enjoy doing. Well, have a desire to do, maybe not always enjoy doing, because sometimes I think the math gets intimidating, or the concept. The math isn't difficult, it's the concept that can be difficult sometimes. Maybe even one day I'll just pull out a bunch of samples and explain based on different construction styles what you would do, which I think it's always an important topic. But if you have any questions specifically about what we've discussed right now about it, please ask me. Like I said, I'm more than happy to help when I can. You know that. If you're looking for any turtlenecks for fall and winter, I don't know if Judy has shared the link already. If she has, my apologies. But this is a mock turtleneck that I got on Amazon. It's a stretchier fabric. I don't know if you can see this. It's not shiny, but it has a lot of stretch. Like when I stretch it, you can see the spandex in it. So you can, but it is not shiny on its own, and very stretchy and really comfortable. And I can show you how long it is. So at this length, like there's my waistline, and so it's quite a bit longer. It could definitely be tucked in, or it can be tucked out. Oh, that's okay, Judy. I'll share. Oh, I'll share the link. I didn't share the link yet. I'll share the link when the show's over. I bought it in black and white so far, and I really like it, so I'll mention that. I'll update that later, and you'll see me wear it again throughout the winter, because I think it looks really nice under the layering pieces like I showed today. Does anybody have any other questions? Thanks, Judy. All right, well, I don't see any other questions, so that's good, I think. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the beach. my show and tell, chatting with me and everyone else. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Bye-bye.